Hi, this is Rochelle, eXp Realty. And when you are buying a house, I have 6 items that you should be looking out for. And if you find these items, consider that a red flag. So, one item is, what if doors will not close? So, the reason why that could be a red flag is that the foundation could be settling a little bit. So therefore, when the door is closing and you have the knob and the part that attaches outside, but then it doesn't align with the other part of the door, then that means that the door is not even either, which means that the door won't close, or the door will just pop open. So that's something to look at for a foundation issue. Speaking of foundations, a foundation with cracks, especially like stair step cracks, means that there is a foundation issue most of the time. And a foundation issue is a major concern because that is what is holding the house up. So if one side of the foundation is uneven, then that means the house is uneven. So when there's cracks in the foundation, that means that the foundation is becoming weaker, which means the house is shifting. And back to those doors, that's why they're not closing. Sloping floors is another concern. Again, let's relate it back to what I talked about with the foundation. And the doors that won't close. So if there is a foundation that is weak, the rest of the house is going to become weak. The floors are going to start sloping. And so then that also affects, when you're walking, maybe you're walking along, maybe you trip because you don't realize that, oh, I should pick my foot up a little bit more because I'm on an incline. So it can lead to a lot of different problems. And also, if you see with doors at the corners, you see a diagonal crack. That is another indicator that there's probably a foundation issue. And I'm not talking about just like one crack at one door corner. I'm talking about you're going to see it on doors and windows. Walls are going to also have the stair step cracks. It's going to be obvious if that's a big problem. So let's talk about insects. There could be termites, which we thankfully don't have here in Minnesota, that I know of anyway. But it could also be that I had an issue at my own home where there was a wasp nest being created in a crack of under a window with the trim, and we had to get somebody to fill it in with some foam and to basically exterminate. It was kind of scary because all of a sudden I'm sitting here at my desk and there'd be a wasp buzzing around, and then I would go out my door and then I saw that there was wasps in cobwebs, which made me think like I need to clean my house more. But yet at the same time, if they're collecting a wasp and it's not bugging me, then I'll keep the cobwebs. Ants, roaches, things like that, are not something that you should want in your home. And it's also a red flag that there's something going on. So there's probably a rotted area that they're getting into and they're really loving it. So it could become a much bigger issue than what it looks like. Another red flag is water. Now, if the water is freely flowing out of a faucet when you turn it on and then it stops when you turn it off, great. However, if there's water coming from a ceiling, not great. So another thing to look at is ceilings, floors. Is there water stains? So that means that either like there's a plumbing issue in a basement, maybe there's been rainwater that has gotten in, and that is an indication of, wait for it, foundation issue. So there could be cracks in the foundation, which then again leads to a much bigger problem that needs to be resolved. Continuing with water being a problem. So what if there is standing water in the yard? Now, if there is standing water and it's been raining a monsoon for days and days and days, then okay, that means that the ground is oversaturated. But if there's standing water and heavy rains has not been an issue, like a lot of melting snow is not an issue, there's just really no other reasonable explanation, then that standing water should definitely be checked out. So you could see if there's a pipe underground that is having a problem. Is it a septic tank? Now, most of the time in a town or a city, it's going to be sewer, but if you're out in the countryside, then it could be a septic, so that could be an issue. It could be that the ground is, uneven. Maybe there's something under there, like a sinkhole. It's just something that needs to be checked out. So I'm actually going to add another piece with water. So let's say that you go into a house and the basement is dry, but let's say it smells musty. So that's another thing to check out, because mustiness, mold, standing water, they all go hand in hand. So even just the smell of being musty is something to check out. And also take a look at your hot water heater, that is in that property. Check the age of it, because what I've experienced is when a hot water heater fails, then it just leaks out. I have also seen where all of a sudden there's just water all over the basement and not know why. And it's because the drain to the sewer had become plugged up, so now all of that was backing up. Water, it's great for bathing, it's great for cooking and drinking and staying hydrated, but yet when it's dirty, stagnant, backed up in a basement, not so good. Definitely something that needs to be cleaned up and something that needs to be fixed, right away. So that is now 7 red flags. I started with 6. I got into the video. I decided I need to add 1 more red flag. So that is actually 7 red flags to look for in a home. And please let me know if you have any questions, if there's any houses that you have seen that you have decided that putting in an offer just isn't going to happen because of any of these red flags. Please let me know. I want to know what you saw and what you thought of the situation. So please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and contact me. My information is here. Have a good day, everybody.